enough that you'll be conquered somehow. Oh, when I'm done, I would never think I'd be until now. But if I wait too long, I will be waiting. I bet the second chance will not be dating. I wanna hide away, but it be fading. I know the second chance will not be waiting. Have to persist. If I don't, I'll never know what I'll miss. Sometimes backfire, but I never had a vision like this. Vision like this, a vision like this. But I never had a vision like this. Vision like this, a vision like this. But I never had a vision like this. But if I wait too long, I will be waiting. I bet the second chance will not be dating. I wanna hide away, but it's the fading. I know the second chance will not be waiting.
Hey, everyone. We are live. Hope you can see me. Uh-oh. There we go. My connection was out a little bit. I hope your connection isn't out, but there we go. All right. So, hey to you, successful women. Hey to the replay watchers. Let us know that you have stopped by in the comments when you see this part. We want to know that you're stopping by and that you're checking us out. And hey to all the YouTube viewers as well. Thanks for hanging out with us. Well, haven't we had quite the busy week, right? It was Thanksgiving here in the US, and then Black Friday, and then Cyber Monday. Like anyone else, feel like it just like flew by, but it also hit you like a ton of bricks at the same time. We are getting into such a busy time of the year, and I just want to like remind you, number one, make sure you stop every once in a while and take care of your own needs, right? Remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about self-care, right? Make sure that you're stopping to take care of your own needs. And number two, don't forget to look around and enjoy it, right? I know like this time of year, it's dark a lot of the time. And for many of us, it's cold, right? Especially in my part of the country. But it's a very short season, but it can also be just a magical one. So don't forget to stop, look around, and have fun, okay? So everyone say hi to my friend Paige, who is in the comments. Paige is hanging out with an Amazon gift card for a live Facebook viewer right now. So make sure you tell Paige, hello, tell her that you're here. And I'm very excited about our guest today. Not just because she lives very, very close to me, like I think maybe like an hour away, which is rare, but also because her claim to fame is with one of my favorite candies. Dorene Olsen has a fascinating story to tell us about how she made $1 million in 3 months after launching her idea for this candy. And I'm going to let her share all the details, right? And she's going to chat with us. But now she's dedicated to empowering ambitious creatives to embrace and share their brand without the constant fear of judgment by articulating clear, value-driven business building strategies and messaging that expresses their brand and themselves. And she's all about fast-tracking growth through messaging and through brand expression. So let me bring on Dorene. Hey, Dorene.
Well, hello.
Here we go. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm going to let you have the floor, but thanks for taking time out of your day to hang out with us and to let us know about your exciting story. So I'll give you the floor.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you very much. Yes, I'm Dorene Olsen. I am a brand expression coach. And Today, I want to talk to you about something that Katie actually had spoken about last week, and that is about the pull. She was talking about the four forces, and the fourth being, and the most elevated, the most connective, being the pull, which is also known as what? Branding. So branding is the pull, whereas marketing is the push. So I want you to think about that as we're kind of moving through the story. And it is the story of the Lindt Chocolate Snowman coming to life and very, very quickly delivering $1 million to their business right away in less than 3 months. And, it's a story of expression. It's a story of expansion. And so as you're listening to this, what I want you to do is really think about how this best relates to what you're doing. The product, the service, the storefront, anything that you are working on and you are bringing into life, certainly for generational wealth. That is something I want you to think about and breathe into while we're talking here. Sound good? Okay. So first and foremost, I want to bring you into the story and close your eyes if it's safe to do so. Take a couple of breaths and follow Katie's guidance, as she mentioned, just taking a moment or two for yourself to really slow down and pay attention to here and now, your true presence. And in doing so, yes, close your eyes if it's safe. And I want you to imagine being in a room with me and being in a room that's completely dark. There's only a screen behind us. And that's where the light of that screen, that's the only thing that's illuminating the room. Because there's a bunch of decision makers all lined up around a table. It's kind of, like Mad Men, really remembering it was that moment in time that you're at a big decision in a corporation and you are the only person standing there and giving a delivery of something you really believe in. So this is something that you can interpret for yourself in any format, when you really are taking in the idea or helping people understand where you're coming from. So again, we're in this room, it's dark, it's cold, everybody's kind of at that heightened alert, and it's quiet. There's a lot of people, there's 20 people in the room, and there's only the light behind me where I'm moving through my marketing presentation for the Swiss executive team. This is something we did once a year and let the executive team in Switzerland know what we were doing in the US. And up pops my idea for the Snowman Truffle. And I knew I needed to move quickly. I knew I needed to express it quickly. I knew I needed to really move into the space of why this was important and do so in a snap moment. But in that moment, as I'm expressing why I want to do this item, why I so believe that the Snowman Truffle could have life in the States. And the Snowman Truffle is something that I had conceived only 3 weeks earlier. And why did I think that was something that could perform in the States? And very quickly, the room, in a meetings, like when there's a lot of movement in the room and you can see people, whether they're checking their phones or they're kind of taking notes or having those side conversations, there was none of that. It was dead quiet. And all of a sudden, the CEO, the worldwide CEO, stood up at the other end of the table. Now it's only him and I standing in the room. And he stops my presentation, not something that happened often. And he said to me, "Do you really think you can make $1 million with this?" I said, "Yes, I do. In fact, I think we can do that in 3 months." And at that moment in time when he stood up, I didn't know if I'd lost my job. It had never occurred to me that, maybe he didn't like this idea. Maybe I didn't exude the energy that I really wanted to have him come along for the ride and understand my vision, understand my dream, just like so many of you have for your businesses and your people. He embraced it fully, giving what I would call like an alligator clap. He had his arms straight out in front of him and clapping and literally giving me a standing ovation for the idea of the Snowman Truffle. So what we're here to talk about today is the few steps that you can take when you are sharing an idea, when you are launching a product, when you are moving into a space that you would like to have somebody ride along with your brand, with your business, understand your business in a way that is full-hearted. You know, it is the core of, it is the essence of what you know to be true. So I'm going to take a couple of steps back. 3 weeks earlier, I had been walking to a meeting and heading up the stairs to a meeting with my senior vice president. I must have said something a little bit inappropriate because he turned around and he threw one of these little babies, you know, at me. It wasn't the snowman truffle. It was a milk chocolate truffle. And I'm on the stairs, he throws the truffle at me. And what I thought of in that moment was, it felt like an incoming snowball. And I said, oh my goodness, we should do snowballs. No, we should do a snowman truffle. And here's why. And by the time I got to the second, we walked up 2 sets of stairs. By the time we were up the second set of stairs, I knew I had him convinced. I knew he was leaning in, he was listening, he was understanding why I thought this could be a good idea, why I thought this could help Lindt Chocolate move from kind of a more formal adult chocolate into the children's market, into stocking stuffers, and really grow that in a way that nobody else was doing. There weren't any other snowmen in the market at the time. And that happened in such a fast moment. And this is the point that I want you to think of. Number one, and you don't need to take notes because I have an ebook that I'll drop in the comments later. It's a free ebook, but really point number one on something like this is act when your big idea strikes. So in this moment, I happen to have his attention. He inspired what happened, or what my idea was, and very quickly embraced it, to the point that he went and sold the idea within an hour to our CEO of Lindt Chocolate USA. And within an hour and a half, he's in my office saying, go ahead, let's do this. Let's get to work going on the design. And we made that happen. We made that happen really because of point number two. And point number two is really how to bring that big idea to life. You know, how could that really become a something? And really, all of this took about 20 minutes of my time after we walked on the stairwell, you know, and into that meeting. I'm, of course, sitting there writing a couple of little notes there to say why I thought it could be successful, how I thought it could get done. So in that energy, your energy is so important. So when you have that idea, when you have that product that you believe that is appropriate for each and every person or service, and you just want to shout it from the mountaintops, you can once you especially when you are in that energy. So if you're not at a point of really being able to capture that energy and share it with people, in that instant, in that meeting environment that I was telling you about, why not sit down and write about it, journalize about it, because you can capture your words, your emotion, your thoughts to it, and really lean into it. It only takes about 20 minutes. So number one, yes, act when the big idea strikes. Number two really is about, how do you bring that idea to life? And you can bang it out in a quick post-it party, write out those ideas. They don't have to make sense at first. Just get them all out of your being so that it can start to move into reality. And then number three is, when you're doing something, always try to bring a sense of familiarity to it. So in this case, when I came up with the Lindt Chocolate Snowman idea, I didn't want to look like everything else on the market during Christmas time. I didn't want to have a red or green, coloration. Instead, why not go after a gifting color? Just like right here, one of the items that I designed was Tiffany blue. Right? The entire product range was designed to be this light, airy, beautiful blue that was known for Tiffany's gifting. And why not bring that into the gifting realm of Lindt Chocolate? And it stands out as its own footprint amongst the masses of, reds and greens and golds. So the other point I would want you to know in moving, we're talking about momentum. We're really talking about getting people on board quickly with what you do and why it's important. And number 4, I would say really begin with the end in mind. So in this case, I knew that Lindt Chocolate had the opportunity. We were ranked like 28th in the marketplace. When I left there, we became number 3. So we grew from $32 million to $1.5 billion in the time that I was helping them. And when you begin with the end in mind, your path becomes very clear and deliberate and short, because the second guessing when you're moving that fast, the second guessing that's in the back of your head seems to quiet down because you are in action rather than simply thinking about something. You are moving into action. So beginning with the end in mind, I knew that Lindt Chocolate needed and wanted to grow their children's market and their candy dish market. And this was the easy solution to do exactly that. And partners around the world, our Lindt Chocolate subsidiaries, started emailing and calling me right after the holiday to say, I'm hearing about this. It was just a matter of weeks. And I'm hearing about this. We want to sell this in our country. So it became the number 1 chocolate that just made it sold in the world in less than a year. And I'm really not aware of any other chocolate product that had that happen. And since then, if you think about beginning with the end in mind, I also knew that gifts can't live as an item. So for instance, the snowman truffle, as it is, would be sold individually as snowman truffles or in this bag, right? But it couldn't live simply just like that. Why not bring in gifting of different sorts? Why not bring in different price points of different, like here is a gift tin that we had done and expand it. So the first year I proved the concept and simply offered the snowman truffles in a couple of bag sizes, so filling the candy dish. And in year 2, we were able to deliver a lot of gifts, even something that could be on everybody's morning ritual, right, for the holidays. So beginning with the end in mind really helped to fast track that and look at what point number 5 I want to deliver to you is, what is the MVP, the most viable product that you can, or service or experience or event. These are things that you can come up with in a matter of 20 minutes when you are present, when you are allowing all energy, or when you are allowing full presence and focus. It's not that hard, and you can do it when you are looking through and thinking through and giving yourself the space to really think through your ideas, think through what could be next. And then the last thing that I would share with you is really reflection is gold. When you look at, when I even think about that meeting, there was so much richness to be enjoyed from that meeting of how to best launch with the people, with the executive team, what are they paying attention to? What's important to them? They were able to give me such feedback. And then also the consumers and these retail stores all could give me feedback and know exactly where to expand next. So what are your people asking you for in that case? Listen to those and capture that reflection in really a form of a debrief. That's where you will see in your own business, in your own brand, certainly after the holiday season right now, holes that you can fill. And holes are opportunities. And so, listing your wins, listing what the opportunities are, and then starting to map how those each could come to life, how those could each become reality. So the pull for Lindt Chocolate was really this introduction of the snowman truffle. And that is how it became a really iconic brand in a very short window of time. There was no significant advertising behind it. It really was word of mouth that first year, but it stood out because it was different and it it suited it. I believe it really had different energy. Going back to my first point, remember when I was saying how like I was so enthusiastic about this idea. I mean, I was bubbling over that even years later, I still feel that bubbling sensation because it was important. I knew it to be true. And I bet you have something inside of you that you know to be true, that you want others to feel. And they can feel that if they can feel you. So because I believed and I knew I could move my belief into action, I had my senior vice president, he like kind of enjoyed that energy. You know, I was contagious, essentially. My contagious energy led into him approaching the CEO. And then that became a meeting a matter of weeks later where we're presenting the idea worldwide. And you can do the same thing when you are speaking to that person, that customer, or maybe you're making a pitch, maybe you are asking for funding to expand what you are doing. All of those things, if people can feel your energy and your presence, then it's going to be an easier thing for you to invite them into your story. Really express it, because when you can express it, there is expansion that follows. So Katie, I hope this was helpful for you people. It's really a pleasure to share. Yeah.
This is awesome. I feel like you were like staring at my soul when you were just telling me that stuff. I'm like, yes, Dorene.
Okay, so there's another little thing that I like to share, and that is the power of conversational marketing. When we fully show up, and we are ourselves, we are using our voice, we are using our power, we are leaning in, right? That's really conversational marketing, right? And it feels a little more emotional. It feels a little more connective. And I'd love to see every one of your people here, especially with the focus of building generational wealth. Like that tells me that you are aware of branding. You are aware of the impression that you're leaving behind. And why not lean into it?
Absolutely perfect. I love it. I was like, I was hooked on that story the whole time. I'm like, this is great. There's some great comments. I can't wait for you to see. I have joined your Facebook group, which is in the video description, because I want more from you. So I can't wait to hear, what you do in your Facebook group. So please join Dorene's Facebook group, which is in the video description if you want to hear more from her. And I think you have some other links that you're going to share with us in the comments as well. Okay, awesome. That was so great. That was such an interesting story. And I buy that stuff every single year. It goes in stockings and like I buy that stuff that you're talking about. I'm like, you like have that whole idea. That's crazy to me. So I think this is just awesome.
So I know you shared with your people about the reindeer as well, right?
Yes.
And for years we were asking that the reindeer be created, and certainly with the success of the Lindt Chocolate Gold Bunny. And so when the reindeer came out, that was not my idea. However, I did get to launch it in the US. And it's funny, they had to design the reindeer in a way that also worked with the molds of manufacturing of the Gold Bunny. So because of that gave them the shape of what the reindeer would be. And to this day, people will hold a reindeer in their hand and call it the Gold Bunny.
Well,
so,
as long as they eat it, all right, just eat it.
And it doesn't matter. Like we all laugh about it because we are so trained. Like that is the power of a brand, So not only Lindt Chocolate, but the Gold Bunny, and people are holding it in their hand during Christmas and say, "I'm so happy I got the Gold Bunny." Like.
It's the Christmas bunny. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, and not to extend this too long, but the gold bear was then something else that Lindt Germany came up with. We had been asking for that as well, and Lindt Germany came up, but originally it was just the chocolate figurine, but then they allowed me to put it in a home for CJs. Isn't that fun?
That is really cute.
And so, why I even share those things with you here is like brand expression, like that little gift there shows it's better than, it's an easy hostess gift, and it feels
Yes.
traditional, feels family friendly. It's a perfect gift for, babysitters or what have you. And I'm sure
Yep.
there's some sort of version this year. I think they have an advent calendar or something. But the last point is, anybody watching, go out and buy your stocking stuffers now, because they tend to be sold out by the first week of December.
Yes,
So
you
don't
are
be
correct about
disappointed,
that
right?
one.
So Katie,
Awesome.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your time
Yes.
today and your people. And I'm looking forward to all the comments. I'll be available in the comments.
Yes, please do. Please do. That was so great. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate your time. Bye. All right, guys. I don't know. I don't know how I can follow that, but I'm gonna try. Dorene's story is like super, super great. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. I'm still mind blown, and I have notes that I have to go over. And I have ideas for some things that I want to do. So hopefully I can follow her story and I can share some more value with you guys. And mine's going to be quick, right? So if you are like most people and you're frustrated with slow growth and even slower conversions over on Instagram, keep watching, because that's where I do most of my business, is on Instagram. But be prepared, because the strategy that I'm sharing is a bit different than what you would hear most creators out there saying, right? And well, I definitely don't consider myself like an Instagram guru, right? Here's what I do know. My account has continuously grown by a steady about 15% consistent in the past 6 months. And I'm having more fun, and I'm feeling more authentic, and I'm generating more leads and sales than I ever have. So if you're on Instagram already, or if you want to get into it because of the growth potential and your strategy, if it's feeling kind of flat and you're looking for a more authentic way to grow your business, you are in the right place right now. So if you're new here, my name is Katie Fairhurst. I'm the founder of this Facebook group and of the Rejection-Free Sales System. In this group and in my course, I help entrepreneurs who are ready to take their business to the six-figure CEO status by growing and automating their online business, creating a profitable social media presence without stress and without overwhelm. We make it nice and simple and easy. If you're new here on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because we put out great new videos just like this one on this channel every single week, and I don't want you to miss the next free training. So we've heard about, when it comes to Instagram, right? You hear everyone saying, stick to your niche down, and then stick to your niche, right? You've got a niche down, and you can't post anything, right, other than your niche on your feed. But maybe I'm a little bit rebellious, but a few months ago, I kind of was just like, I just had enough, right? And I see the value in this advice and even agree with it to a point, but I think it's creating kind of a problem. What started out as a platform for each of us to express ourselves and to showcase our personalities has kind of turned into a platform that's like oversaturated with shallow, watered down accounts that are all serving up the same surface level tips and tricks. And it's an even bigger problem if you are serving the exact same kind of content as an account with like, 5, 10, or even like 50,000 more followers than you. Like, how are you supposed to stand out, and how are you supposed to grow? These are the questions that I was asking myself. So I quietly decided to blow up my Instagram posting strategy, test some new things, and the results have been pretty amazing, right? A consistent 15% increase in growth, 2,000% increase in engagement, and 123% increase in accounts reached. And I have a screenshot of my statistics. If you want to see how you find this stuff out, I have a screenshot, and I can put that in the comments. And I still have a relatively small audience. I have just under 5K followers right now. And I'm still relatively new, I guess, to Instagram. I've really only been kind of active for the past year. But if there's one thing that I've learned, it's what works what works larger for the larger established accounts, I can't even talk right now, doesn't necessarily work for like the little guys like me, right? And so what makes these findings even more valuable is that I have tested it enough to feel, I've tested it enough and I feel confident in breaking it all down. And then I'm just going to show you exactly how I do it, right? And I'm putting my Instagram link in the description as well if you want to see. Most videos that you watch about posting on Instagram will walk you through the type of post you should be creating and help you come up with content ideas. And I'm going to give you some of those things, but first let's talk about the purpose behind each of your posts. Every single post that you create needs to serve at least one of three goals. Grow your audience, right? That's number one. Number two is to nurture trust and authority with your existing audience. And number three is converting leads and sales. And some of these posts will hit just one of these objectives, while others may hit two or maybe even all three as a bonus. But you should never publish a piece of content without the intent of doing at least one of these three things, right? And within those three goals are 6 different types of post categories that you should be rotating through on a regular basis. So remember how I said I blew up my Instagram strategy? Well, these 6 categories are the result of that experiment, and this is how we're breaking it down. Number 1 is personal posts. And I know this is different than what most Instagram experts are saying, but I have found that posting one personal post about every week, something that has nothing to do with my niche or with my business, has done wonders for the engagement on my account. And the goal of a personal post is almost always to nurture, right? Use these posts as an opportunity to let your followers in on your world and remind them that you're a real person, right? Share the things about your day, your life, your family, your animals, whatever, right? Just let them into your world, just even if it's just a little bit, as much as you feel comfortable, let them in just a little bit, okay? Number 2 is lifestyle posts. If I'm following someone, I want to know that they walk the talk, right? I want to see that you're doing what you're talking about. And anyone can show up and can share educational tips and content, but a lifestyle post is when you show up and you show your audience that you live what you teach, right? Share your story, share your why, take your audience behind the scenes and share your routines, your mindset, your habits as they relate to your niche, right? So for example, if you're like a busy mom who helps if you're a fitness coach who helps busy moms start to lose weight without living at the gym, right? That's your niche, right? Snap a photo of yourself doing that home workout one morning, right? And use the caption, excuse me, use the caption to share a little bit about how you fit that workout into your busy schedule, okay? Walk the talk, okay? Number 3 is an inspiring post. One of the reasons that people get on social media is to feel good. And inspiring posts are anything that lights someone else up, right? When thinking about what to share as an inspiring post, revisit who you help and how you help them, and share something that is specifically meant for that person, okay? This could be as simple as a quote, or it could be even like a really inspiring story or a lesson, okay? Number 4 is value post, straight up value post. These are educational tips and like things that like people are going to talk about, right? They're so important for establishing yourself as a resource, an expert in your niche, right? These posts always need to be centered around your value content pillars. I talk about that a lot. If you need help figuring out what those are, check the link for the free content pillar worksheet that I put in this video description as well. That is totally free for you, okay? Entertaining posts are number 5. No, that doesn't mean you have to be funny, right? You don't have to be funny on social media. You don't have to do the dances and all that things if you're not comfortable, right? Another word for entertaining would be engaging, right? Create posts that encourage your viewer to reach out and engage with you, right? They can be funny if that's your personality, all right? But they don't necessarily have to be, okay? Like I like to ask my audience a random question once a week, right? Sometimes it has nothing to do with business, right? But it helps us to get to know each other a little bit more, right? This is great for overall engagement of your account. It's just another way to start conversations with your followers, which could potentially lead to something else, right? Just make sure that you go back and you reply to every single comment so that people know that you're actually listening. And finally, number 6 is straight up promotional posts. This is your chance to, sorry, 6. This is your chance to shout from the rooftops how people can work with you or buy from you. And I know this is going against the grain compared to what a lot of other people are teaching on social media, but here's the thing. Your job is not just to show up and to give free value on social media. That's not your job. Your job is to sell products or services. And yes, you should be talking about all those things and the stories and the value and all that stuff, right? But it's also okay to do a post in your feed where you make it extremely clear how people can take those next steps with you, either by becoming a lead or by becoming a customer. All right. So let's chat about how often you should be posting and what types of posts you can create with these different types of posts. Now, for me, I like to do one post every single day, right? And at least 3 reels on Instagram every week, right? So one post and at least 3 reels. And the more you post, the faster your account is going to grow. But the key is consistency, right? The algorithm would much prefer to see you use one post a day, including reels, than post 3 times a day for a week and then disappear because it completely overwhelmed you. Okay, so here's the schedule that worked for me, but you should create one that works for you, that you can be consistent with and that you can stick with. Usually on Mondays, I do a lifestyle post. Tuesday, I do a value carousel. Wednesday, I do a promotional post. Thursday, an inspiring post. Friday, a personal post. And Saturday, another value carousel. And then Sunday's just the entertaining post, right? And for reels, I like to alternate between a value post where I'm just talking to the camera, excuse me, and then sharing educational tips and you know, you can do like the trends with the trendy songs and stuff too. It doesn't mean you need to dance. There's different ways that you can incorporate that into your reel if you just kind of research and see what other people are doing, right? The trending sounds, the trending music, because that gets boosted in the algorithm. I also break up these trainings that I do here and I screen record some key points and then I post them as a reel. All right. And I use some of the things that I trained about and I put that right in the comments. Okay. So that's work smarter, not harder. You should be spending 20% of your time creating your content and then 80% of your time promoting it and repurposing it. Okay. You don't want to be creating content like constantly. All right. Success on Instagram comes down to finding the balance between showing up authentically and establishing yourself as a resource and as the absolute authority for your audience. Yes, you need to be yourself. Yes, you need to be giving value. And yes, you need to be hitting each of these 6 types of posts on a regular basis if you want to accomplish your 3 goals of growing audience, capturing leads, and converting sales, right? If you want to see the full breakdown of the Instagram posting schedule that I follow, including my daily story schedule, then I invite you to grab my social media posting plan. I share the exact social media posting schedule that I follow that powers my brand. And I give you a lot of insight into creating and sharing your value content pillars, showing up consistently, right? And you want to show up in a way that actually has results, that actually gets sales for your business, okay? When you grab that free content pillar worksheet in the video description, you will be automatically introduced to exactly what I do on social media every single day. Also, something very special that I just released, if you want to make your posting like stupidly easy for the month of December, right? Because let's get real. December is going to be like a whirlwind, right? And I want to make this easier for you. I've created a link to this month's December VIP content calendar, and I put that in the video description as well. This is the same content calendar that I post in the VIP lounge every month, okay? And this one is specifically for December. The calendar will tell you exactly what to post with suggestions on what to say for each day in December to attract your ideal audience, to nurture trust with your audience, and convert sales for your business. And I link an example of my posts from Instagram in each one so you can see an example. Okay, you can get all of your December posting done in one day. You can sit and bang it out in one day. Or if you have a VA that helps you with your posting, give this list to the VA and they can get it all done in one day. You can have it all pre-done. Some of it you can probably schedule out, or you'll at least have something that you can just quickly schedule every single day, right? So that link is in the video description as well, okay? That is all I got to today. That was quick and easy, right? Thank you so much to Dorene Olsen and her fantastic story about her Lindt chocolate experience, and for hitting us with all that value. I got notes. I don't know about you. So don't forget to check out her link and join her group, because I'll be in there as well. And you guys have a great rest of your day.
Time, a lot of times she just needs to kind of